Welcome to Desmond's Donders. Let's head off on a donder. Before we get started though, here's a barn owl that crossed our path on the way to the loch.
Loch Spynie. You can probably hear the birds, at least the gulls, but here we are at the top of the trail, heading down to the loch to see what's there this morning. Last night, a little bit windy, a little bit wet, but this morning so far the sun's shining. We've had some rain, but so far the storm has not arrived.
Spynie Loch. In the early days of human settlement, the highland from Burghead to the lighthouse at Covesea and the Stotfield area of Lossiemouth were islands in the Moray Firth. Although the gaps through the sea silted up over the centuries, by the early Middle Ages it was still possible to sail from the mouth of the River Lossie to Spynie Palace. This earlier Laich of Moray was drained in the mid-19th century by the Spynie Canal, designed by Thomas Telford to reveal the flat and fertile farmland which makes up part of the Pitgaveny Farms. Today's Spynie Loch is much smaller than the original Laich of Moray. The eastern shore at Scarffbanks is the surviving original shoreline, but the north and western banks were constructed in the middle of the 19th century, and Spynie Loch as we now know it was created for fishing and wildfowling. Shooting at the loch ceased in the mid-1980s, and it is now a site of special scientific interest (SSSI) for birds, wildlife and plants. Sadly, the thousands of geese that once used the loch for their winter stopover have moved elsewhere, although they haven't disappeared altogether. Birds that can be seen at the loch include several pairs of terns, a colony of black-headed gulls, coots, whooper swans, water rails and occasionally marsh harriers. Red squirrels and otters are regular visitors near the Hyde. A lot of this week's footage, background audio, is unusable. To find out why, take a look at Wednesday's video where I explain what happened. Diary, 7th of February 2020. A surprise suggestion from Lindsay sees us heading off to Loch Spynie, and after I picked Lindsay up from work. We spotted a barn owl on the back lanes heading to the loch. On arrival we picked out a spot and got settled in. A light supper and relax, then off to bed. There is a storm forecast, but so far no worse than normal. Eighth of February 2020. We were up reasonably early and breakfasted, watching the birds in the car park. There is plenty to see, including bullfinches and great tits. And then it is time to walk down to the Hyde for a while. We had a great couple of hours down at the loch. There was loads of species and plenty of action from squirrels and birds alike. Then back off to Desmond for some soup and a sandwich. Lindsay then went for another walk while I listened to the Six Nations rugby. On a side note, there were some noisy folk in the Hyde. I do not mean talking, but banging and crashing about. While the birds did not seem to mind, I did. We spent the evening waiting for the storm to arrive. Nothing out of the ordinary, just some wind and rain.
You say the storm's not arrived, but there's black clouds out that way. Let's get back down to the Hyde. At least get some shelter there.
9th of February 2020. We awoke to another good morning. It is a little showery but not stormy. I checked in on the 2-metre news net and tried for 40 but nothing. After the net we changed to 77s for a test of coverage in the area. That worked well. Then it was back off to the Hyde to catch up with Lindsay, who was already there. There are a few different species about. The weather is a bit showery now, and it was all too soon time to pack up and head for home. In this shot you can see the rain on the water. Wildlife: red squirrel. Birds: wood pigeon, rook, barn owl, black-headed gull, blackbird, chaffinch, pheasant, bullfinch, carrion crow, pied wagtail, goldfinch, robin, yellowhammer, great tit, wren, mute swan, goldeneye, tufted duck, widgeon, mallard, herring gull, great black-backed gull, glaucous gull, coal tit, long-tailed tit, blue tit, tree creeper, great spotted woodpecker, cormorant, coot, goosander, grey heron, little grebe, tawny owl, dunnock, song thrush, siskin, grey lag goose, moorhen, buzzard, pintail, scaup, common gull. Thank you for watching Desmond Starters. We'll hope you'll join us again for more photos, waffle and video as we travel around Scotland. Bye for now.